So hello everyone. Back from surgery. I feel a lot better. I'm sure I sound better too. My vocal range is certainly expanded, but so here I am on the map, and it's been a while since I posted a new update because I haven't felt like there's anything that was significant that's changed since the last update. But um, I probed the bus depot, and it's a little messed up. I think a lot of my probe work is kind of messed up. Lighting in general has been an issue since I started, because there's just a lot of. It's a very complicated map, and it's very difficult to set up probes because there's no priority system. So if you have probes that override, there's no priority for that. You can't set which probes take priority over what. So. One thing I've done is I've fixed the melee on flesh sound, and I've added a cooldown for power-ups. Now, power-ups aren't supposed to spawn until round 3, according to the script, but apparently the script's wrong. So, but yeah, they have a cooldown now. And I did add the automatic mag fill max ammo. So now you don't have to reload before you get a max ammo. You see what I mean? The light bleed there is almost up. It's just difficult. So um, I have some work to do, a lot of work, in fact, for effects. So zombies are not actually supposed to have blood splatters on them. It's just supposed to go on the ground. So that means that the blood splatter has been rotated to point that way instead of on the ground. So that needs to be fixed. And it does look good, but if you notice when the zombie moves, the blood kind of doesn't stay on him. So, but yeah, fog, I'm still reworking fog, going back and forth, trying to figure out what exactly I want. I think I may actually just go with the original fog because in this game, the way I have the lighting set up for this map, the map is very visible in terms of lighting and light fill, and Black Ops 3 actually uses a slightly different fog system than the fog that was used in Black Ops 2. It uses world fog, and Black Ops 2 it was all scripted, so can't really. I mean, you could probably, yeah. So our fog 0 does work, and I can turn it on and off, but the map is designed kind of how it was for just like closeness, but there is a lot of detail in these parts, and I do actually want to do how I did over here, just so it looks more good, more better, more better, gooder. So, I'm gonna run over here, and this is how my intros to my videos have been, for the town, but as you'll see, the town really isn't finished still. I haven't had a lot of motivation to do the town, um, other than the areas I've been focusing on, so the cafe's still not done. I did raise the cafe. I don't know why this wood trim is just a decal, but you can see this is still really bright for some reason. These are different probes and different probe setups, so I don't know what's causing that. But you can see it's just very unfinished. But one thing I got working was reverb, which is always, it's been in the map in the bus depot for a while, but I never put any reverb outside of the bus depot. So we'll open up the bank here, and I did do some work on this. I didn't showcase this part yet in any way. So I'll throw a grenade over here, and we see the vault opens, and throw a grenade over here, and the vault will open. I don't have a trigger for the bank system yet. I have a friend who actually made it, but fun fact about these textures here is I actually did these myself by hand and redid it because it's very simple to do. I forgot where I got this little keyhole from, but it's not important. It's there. This is not probed and not looking good, so I need to change that soon. But I changed this door to just open with power now. I'd still like you to need a turbine to open it, but it's not, regardless, it's not going to be how it was in the original, because the original was just so flawed with its system, them expecting people to be able to do all of what you need to do to get PAP open so you can build it. And speaking of PAP, if I go over and turn the power on so I can actually get down here, yeah, you can see I haven't done anything over here yet, just because I'm trying to focus on area by area, but let's see if my power switch sounds that I changed are actually working, because there's the underlying default power switch sound with like the power up that is there by default, and I don't know how to prevent that from happening. So I have the power switch sound set up for this. I'm just gonna play it. Did you hear that whining sound? That's from the giant. I don't know how to remove that because I've overridden the stock power script, and it's not called in any of the asset lists or anything. I commented them out. So the only power script, as far as I know, for this map that is being used is the custom one that I have. So I don't know why that's playing. I want to fix that. So I'm going to go back over here and go down here. You can see this is open up now. And let me look for these parts. There's no Vox for picking up parts. I'm using a temporary script right now, and the reason I say temporary is because this script just doesn't work, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So for... Okay, that's new. What is going on with this? Okay, this was working before. I haven't modified it since. That's new. I don't know. See, this is the issue with this script. Like, it just fucking sucks. It really does. And it's because I'm not using it the way that... I'm not using it the way that it's intended to be used, because I don't want to use it the way it's intended to be used. The way that he had it set up is, you go up to the Pack-a-Punch itself and build on the Pack-a-Punch instead of building on a bench. And I don't want that. Because that's not what this map needs. So, you know, there's another seam line here, because it's not probed. But it wasn't working, because he included benches. I'm talking about Sphinx. He's a great scripter, but he added these benches in, and I'm like, well, which bench do I use? Because they're all prefabs. So I put in the one, and I was like trying to use it the way it was intended, and it just wasn't giving me the prompt to build. It said missing parts, even though I had all the parts. It was just a big issue, and now for a while you could build it. You could actually build and complete the Pack-a-Punch, but then the Pack-a-Punch just wouldn't show up in its spot, and you can't use it. So I'm just gonna have somebody rework it and have it done, or possibly do it myself the way that it was done in the original. But another thing, a small little change, the jump land animation is a little quicker now. It was a little slow before. So that's changed. So I'm going to go in here. I added this. I actually textured it myself in Substance. So it's all up to date. The reverb in here is a little intense. And I think a lot of people... don't realize that when a room like this is totally empty and there's nothing in it, then it would sound like this. But if you ever notice, like when you move into a new house, it's really echoey. There's a lot of reverb because there's nothing in it. And then when you move all this furniture and all this stuff in it, like about half of that reverb goes away because it's getting absorbed by all this stuff in here. So I need to lower the reverb intensity in here quite a bit. And I actually made all of my own custom reverbs, but they don't work when you're a little far away from the zombie. So, Diving's still janky. I'm not even sure if I'm going to keep diving or if I'm just going to disable any kind of... Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I don't know what that is. Where was that at? That was right here. It's these weird polling issues too. Like, there's nothing here that should be making that happen, but at just random spaces towards the floor, it'll just glitch out. So I'm not sure why that's happening or what's doing it. But I'm gonna move on, and I know I need to finish this building, but I did add these wires here, so those are there now. And then the barber shop, I finished the brick breakout stuff here, sorta. I'll show you what I mean. I'm gonna go back up here, and yeah, I smoothed this wall out a little bit, so the probe's all messed up there, but I need to finish these little seams here. That's not done. It's just a work in progress, but when you walk into it, there's no collision because none of these walls, none of the floors, none of this has any collision. It's all clips that I'm walking on, which is how it should be, because if you had collision, you'd have collision for every little bit for that. It's just not efficient. And I think I'm doubling down on putting the SVU here because you can go up here and snipe zombies. And I think that's pretty cool. It just kind of fits. I've always felt like it should go here. Another thing I did is these cracks over here. I finished texturing these, so they look pretty good. And before I got interrupted by myself with interest for the barbershop, I'm gonna go over here to the bowling alley, and this is cool. This should open inward, by the way. It shouldn't clip through the player, but I'll fix that later. So this area is playable now, and if you can ignore the lighting issues, because that is going to be a heavily present and apparent issue in this project. The PDW is in here because it has to be. Just the perfect spot for it. But I have a barrier here, and then I have a barrier over there. I'm gonna put some of these broken bookshelves up there, maybe some clean ones and some doors and stuff. Make it look like it was a room someone was living in, or storage room or something like that. But you could tell that these were storage rooms because of all these shelves here, or at least something like that. I'll put something up there too, so it looks like it was a room and not just a breakout area. But the way that this will work is zombies will come through here when you're in this zone, and they'll come up to this barrier here and they'll jump over it, so it'll be a mantle over. And then I kind of want to add this liquefier as just like an Easter egg, and just to give the laundromat a reason to go in it, and you would enter through these doors and you'd pick up parts and then build it in here, or something like that. Because this liquefier is not a super powerful weapon, but, you know, it is what it is. But there isn't a lot that I've done. I do want to test something out, so I'll actually do that on video. There's a sound for the nuke, and speaking of which, it just spawned. So I'm gonna turn my audio up because in Black Ops 3, the way they changed this was they changed the nuke, like the flash sound for the nuke, to be like these souls coming out of the zombies, and I, for one, fucking hate it. I hate it. I hate all the sound changes they did like that. I hate the fact that they made the hellhounds sound like coyotes when they're not coyotes, they're dogs. The original sounds for the hellhounds sounded like hellhounds. I don't understand, but you know, that's all been changed, so just to spite. So I'm going to make it round 20, and then since this is spawning out, I'm going to put a nuke. Nice. Nice. So that's actually playing. I didn't think it was before. I thought I just muted it, so that's awesome. I'm gonna have to change the distance volume though, because it sounds like the attenuation is very short, if that makes sense. If you know, you know. But yeah, I mean that's about it. Other than that, I'm gonna fly over back to Bus Depot and show off this new prop I set up. I got this from Slums in Black Ops 4. This is the new. I'm gonna turn the audio back down. This is the new version of this power pole line, and it looks great. And speaking of power lines, so these all use ropes right here, but the issue is when you go far away from them, they have like a level of detail system where they get like white and transparent and they don't look right. I don't know why they do that. I can't change it, so and you can't really add any detail to this because they use a specific material. I do not know why they use a specific material. Um, but you see how it's transparent there? Everything's just going through it. I don't understand, but I'm just gonna not use ropes because I'm not supposed to be using these anyway, and I'm just gonna redo all these with like actual curve cylinders and whatnot so that they can look better. But over here, these are the wires I'm thinking of. These ones here with these little hook things. But yeah, and this area has detail too. But I don't know if I ever showed it properly, but these fluorescents in the laundromat have their correct color and volumetrics, and I made it like a straight beam because that's how it was in the original. But this is just actual volumetrics now, so it doesn't even need the effects. And this little bowling alley sign that I added, this is actually a nod to the beta or the alpha or whatever it was. This little sign used to be here, and for some reason they took it out, but I put it back in because it looks nice. So, and the same, I want to say the same for the bar. There's a little corn dog sign that was written in chalk, kind of like this sign up here. But it says corn dogs, and I believe it was right here. It was either right here or right here, but I want to add that, recreate it, and add it just to give some flavor, I guess, to the map. So when I go in here, you'll notice there's a floor here, as though I'm planning to add something here. So I was not the one who originally added this floor. This was originally here in the original map, because either they had transparent doors here and they just wanted to make it look like there was an interior, or they were planning on adding something here. I don't know what that something was, obviously, so I'll do something about it, but so I think this fog is fine because you can still see where you're going. I don't know why it changes. Everything's a mess right now, which is why the reason that I removed all the original probes that I had was because something in the bus depot over here where these curve got screwed up and it wouldn't let me build, so I had to like take all the probes out and redo everything. So that was a pain in the ass. But I'm gonna go over to the tunnel. The tunnel's got a nice reverb, and I've been to the abandoned PA Turnpike, which is basically just one of these tunnels that goes for a really long way. And it doesn't have that like echoey sound. It just sounds like everything's stretched out. You see power-up loops have reverb now like they did in Black Ops 2, which I thought was really nice. So I'm not really sure why they changed that. I guess they figured it was just like a UI element that you're not actually hearing, but it just kind of like subtly gives you the feeling that yeah, sun's bleeding through. It just kind of subtly gives you the feeling that you are in a large interior space, or just any size interior space that you're in. But yeah, I mean that's about it. I'm not planning on leaving all this low poly, but the tunnel is just kind of a perpetual work in progress. I did do these though. I made a custom texture for these. So all this right here is one custom texture, which I'm really proud of. And now I'm gonna fly over here. So I haven't really done anything over here. I did change the color of this from yellow to blue, which is much better. And speaking of the LMGs, I'm aware that the muzzle flash is really large and just covers everything, and it's like an epileptic mess. Um, that's mainly just because the core muzzle flash is using a large, like a large flare and not like a medium to small. So that'll be an easy fix. I might actually just redo this whole barn because this is a lot of this is brush models, and I really don't want it to be that way because you don't have a lot of room for improvement. But also there's a lot of exposure issues. Like I go to certain areas, it's really dark. I go to other areas, it's bright. I didn't do that. It's supposed to be like this, but that's mainly because of probes that do all that stuff. But yeah, so you hear that other power switch sound? I don't want that there. I just want like the main. But you know what I may do? I may just like, because it's obviously using another power switch script somewhere in there to do that. So I'm just gonna end up removing the custom sound alias line that I have for the Switch and just use the original one, and then just have the original one overrided and remove the string to play that from my script. So whatever string that it's pulling from can just use its thing, because I obviously can't get to it. I don't know where it's coming from. And then I'll do it from there, I guess. Which I really don't want to have to do, because if I go into my project files here, I have all of the Black Ops 3 scripts here. And if I go down to Moon, which is I'm using a modified version of it. I believe it's in utility. What was it? Event, yeah, hang on. Play sound. Should be under play sound. Airlock, vent, loading door, airlock, okay. So one of these uses it. Zombie switch flip. So is it not? I don't understand, because there's a custom sound for the Moon's thing. But anyways, that's about it. That's about it. There really isn't much to talk about. I haven't done a lot, so that's why I haven't uploaded anything in a while. But there's a lot of back end stuff and a lot of like stuff that I have added here and there, like all this I filled in, and I improved some of this here, changed that to a sidewalk. I added collision everywhere. I may have already actually done that. It via or at the time of the last video that I had up. There's an issue over here where there's no ambient occlusion down here. I don't know why. Black Ops 3 graphic engines, the more you use it, the more confused that you get. So, that's about it. Alright, take care.